Greetings all, this is Dickie Adams with PocketNow.com, and today we're going to take a closer look at the hardware on the Kindle Fire from Amazon. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So let's start out looking at the actual 7-inch display. As you can see, we've got this turned on right now. IPS display, it's got Gorilla Glass here, so it can stand up to a lot of abuse. If you turn it just slightly, you can see the spots here that happen on some displays, but not on others. Not terribly important. It doesn't detract from the viewing angles or anything like that to say anything like that. Got a little rubberized border that goes around the edge here, adds a little bit of a grip. Otherwise, I think it's just there to hold the glass, and I don't know that it has any specific purpose at all. Brightness, on the other hand, this is at the lowest brightness right now, and if we kick that brightness all the way up to full bright, you can see it gets a lot brighter. Color levels are good in comparison with like the Galaxy S2 and say another Android devices. This is a little warmer in color than the Galaxy S2, like the Epic 4G Touch, but it is the color depth and the contrast isn't as good as say on a Super AMOLED screen. It does have another sensor up here, which we talked about in the unboxing. This turns out to be that this might be the light sensor, and it just is currently disabled in this version of the Amazon tablet Android OS. Whether or not it remains to be seen if they're going to re-enable that brightness functionality apparently was buggy, so that's why it was left out, but the sensor is still there, which is great. On the bottom of the device here, we can see the power button, which lights up as you charge it, so it's green when it's charging, or rather it's green when it's fully charged, or when you power it on, it turns on green for a moment. Orange when it's charging. It's got a standard micro USB charging port, which is fantastic, which means that you don't have to rely on any proprietary cabling. You can use any micro USB cable you like. If you plug it into your computer, it still will charge from your computer, although albeit a little slower than you would if you plug it into the wall wart that's included. Headphone jack is as you would expect. Some reviews I have seen talked about the fact that this also produced a lot of clicking and popping. I didn't experience any of that, and I also didn't have any problems with clicking or popping or humming noises occurring when I wasn't when any music or audio was playing. That said, they also found out that while the Kindle Fire does not have a microphone port in it, if you buy the right combination of microphone / headphone, you can actually use the microphone on the headphone unit to broadcast or record directly into the Kindle Fire, which is a great feature. On the top end here, we've got the speakers, and as you can see there, just a pair of speakers, and when you hold on to it vertically as you would, or rather in landscape mode as you would with, let's say, Netflix or Amazon's video store, you're actually holding on to one of these speakers, so then the sound becomes quite small. And really with these sort of speakers, you can't expect to have too much else from them other than a small sound. They're not going to be a powerhouse. They're going to work just fine, but they are what you expect. On the back of the unit, we've got the Kindle logo, and as you can see here, it's got kind of a rubberized feel that does pick up fingerprints pretty readily, but it does allow for you to have a pretty firm grip on the device. It's got a 4,400 milliamp hour battery, according to the folks at the iFixit site. And frankly, I found that the battery life has been fantastic with this unit, even though it's a little smaller than, let's say, the iPad 2. We'll come back to that more in the comparison side of the video tour, but really I've been very pleased with the battery life on the device. Wi-Fi only on this device, although the chipset, again from the teardown that we've seen online, also includes the Bluetooth and FM radio, so it remains to be seen if somebody can get that enabled in a custom ROM or if Amazon's going to include that in the future. 8 gigabytes of flash memory. All of that is available to the user to store things from, or I should say, all but a small amount that would, save the OS and swap space and that sort of thing. unlike the Nook Color, which is only designed to allow for a small amount of user set-aside space. So you can load this up with as many videos as you like of your own devising, as well as streaming video content through Amazon service or through Netflix, etc. 512 megs of RAM, that does make the device a little bit sluggish at times, but frankly I've found that for this type of device it's perfectly serviceable, very snappy. Some reviews have mentioned that touching the items on the screen causes them to launch very slowly. I haven't found that to be the case. I've found it to be, more often than not, it's when I'm tapping the screen, I mistap on, you can see my daughter's been watching, mistap on the actual large icon, specifically with this, the carousel view here, is where that has a tendency to happen. But as you can see here, I'm able to flip through this very quickly without any problems. And if I go into the apps, here, my app tray, I can scroll up and down and there's very little hesitation or lag. You can see it a little bit there as I'm going up and down. I think that has more to do with the Android OS than the actual processor and RAM because of these items down here with the arrows on them. We'll cover more of those in the software review, but that's how you get access to some of your other previously purchased Amazon apps that aren't downloaded to the device. It's got a dual core, 1 gigahertz Texas Instruments OMAP 4430 processor. Again, it's very snappy and I have found it to be very comparable to other devices that I've got. It's not the fastest Android tablet that's out there, but for what I'm doing with it, namely reading books and occasionally watching video, reading comics, it's really, really snappy. Thickness of the device has not been really too much of a problem. It is larger than, say, the iPad 2 thickness-wise, but it feels really good in the hands. Reading a book with this form factor has been really nice and convenient, feels very comfortable, and frankly, I find myself using this quite a bit around the house to read content, specific comic books or say Amazon books, that sort of thing. Some website browsing, although you have to do a lot of pinch to zoom more than you would on a larger tablet device. That wraps up our closer look at the hardware on the Amazon Kindle Fire. If you have any comments or questions or would like to see something specifically covered in the software tour coming up soon, then leave a comment below and we'll try to cover those items for you. Please leave us a thumbs up if you liked the video. You can visit us at pocketnow.com. Thanks for watching.